you're a developer, this of course is pretty familiar to you, so you don't really have to. I don't really have to explain it to you. But for everyone else, so what is a branch? A branch is basically a version of your tracking plan. So what you can often do is like, and so just to give you maybe we do this here as well. It's like so. What you always have is like you have your main branch. So the main branch is basically this is what is in production. So this is your tracking plan, which is in production. So this is used, this is where you test again. So now it might be that you come around and you implement a new feature. And so let's say, so this is like, I don't know, let's call it feature 1. So what you can do is like, because you could create all the new events into the main branch as well. So this, of course, is possible. But if you monitor or validate everything, you will get a lot of errors because these events haven't been implemented yet, and so it still maybe needs some back and forth between the different teams to really know how you want to implement it. So if you really rely on your validation, which you should, this will create a lot of alerts, a lot of issues, and so on. So you don't want that. So, but what you can do is like so. You can basically create a new branch, and so we can call it feature 1 branch, and it creates a copy from the main branch at the point of time when you create the new feature branch. So basically, you take one copy here and you start over here, and then you add all the different kind of events. So let's say you add 1 or 2 events, so 2 new events. So you discuss them internally, it looks all good, and it's super fine, and so on. And then you can start to test them. And then at some point when you say, okay, everything gets deployed, so like the tracking for it is implemented, at that point you can just then merge it back into the main branch again. So what does it mean? It's like it takes your additions that you have created here and then puts them into the main branch. And from then they are basically in production and so on. So like if you then create a new feature 1, you would create a new feature branch. So these kind of implementation makes it pretty easy for you to control how you handle new events that you want to track, so that they don't really mess up your reporting, your validation that you have already in place, but gives you the space to basically define new things, try them out, implement them. Once they're implemented, you merge them back into this. And so this is what branches do. And of course, it totally makes sense if I would now create some kind of changes here that I quickly create a new branch and then merge the branch back. Because also like, let's do this. Let's call it so feature 1 branch. So the also good thing is like here in Arvo, I can quickly see what kind of changes are happening in the branch. So if I click here, view on changes. So right now we haven't done anything. But for example, if I would now create a new event, like, okay, test event. Here also a very good thing that I can already show you. So what Arvo does is like they check the way how you write the events against all the writing of the other events. And if the casing looks different, it will give you a hint. So it doesn't really enforce it, but it gives you a hint that maybe you should change the casing. So let's do that. So, and as you can see here now on feature 1 workbench, we have 1 new event. And so this is already here, so we can also see it. It's green, so we see this is new. And here is as well. So it basically marks it as a new event. And if I would go here, now I can see, okay, actually we have a new event here and so on. So, and what it also does, this is also nice, it audits the changes. And so what does audit mean? So audit has different kind of settings, so we won't go into the settings right now. But what Arvo does is like it checks the events and the properties against specific kind of rules. And there are specific kind of rules out of the box. So like in this case, I assume, okay, this is on a different plan. But I think I already know what's the problem. It's like, so in that case, for example, I haven't created a description. And so this is why it basically tells me, hey, to keep the same quality, so you can force quality by that you can basically quickly check if you add new events, are they meeting the same standards that you have defined. Okay, so these are the branches. Let's get into the events. So let me go back. So here I can switch back. Now I switch back to the main branch.